Well, welcome back to Doc's Projects. You got to watch me build the nice little chessboard, the chessboard part itself, the checkerboard, on the last one. And I asked you to come on back and watch as I build the framework and the box for the drawers underneath it and all that. So let's get into it. And if you didn't already, make sure you subscribe and like. I appreciate that. Doesn't cost you a thing. Just do it. Hit the buttons right there. I think it's right there. Anyway, let's put this over on the bench. Still got to do some sanding on it, but I'm going to show you how to build the framework so that it looks perfect. Here we go. Okay, so the trickiest part about this is making sure that you cut these pieces for the side long enough so that you can make the 45-degree angles here and not run too short. So what I did, we've got 12 inches by 12 inches, perfect square. And I want to make sure that I have this long enough on each side so when I do the 90-degree, I've got enough to play with. So I'm going to do 2 inches wide. This is about 2 inches wide. This is 12, so 12 plus 2 is 14, and another 2 is 16. So I went to about 16 and a 3/8. Just enough to have some for the saw blade. The trickiest part about this is, well, first off, you want to kind of look at it, make sure visually it looks good. You think it looks good? What about you, Sam?
Yeah, whatever.
Mary, are you watching? You think this is looking good with this?
Oh, baby.
Good. Everybody's in agreement, I think. If you're not in agreement, I couldn't hear you. Shout louder. Open the window. Anyway, want to make sure that, excuse me, that you've got enough to make that 45-degree angle all the way around. And so, what I do, and it seems a little time-consuming, but it helps to make it perfect. Obviously, right here at the corner, and right here at the corner, is where you want to make the cut for the 45-degree angle. So use the 45-degree angle to cut out this way and to cut out this way. And you do it on all of them. I go a little bit longer than what the measurement calls for. Reason being, as I'm cutting up, let's pretend that these two boards are already cut perfect, and I'm trying to fit this last piece in. If I cut it too short, I'm going to have a gap. Do not want to have a gap. You don't want to play with trying to fill it in with some kind of filler. That just looks icky, and it's a rookie mistake. So I go just a little bit longer, and then I'll bring it in, and I will try to fit it in place, and I'll see, well, just needs a hair. So I take it back to the saw, and I make sure I know to change the adjustment on the saw blade from the 45-degree angle I need, and I just shave off just a little bit more. I walk back here, and I fit it in. And I might do it 5 or 6 times until I get it just right. And I want to make sure that I don't undercut, because I want it to fit together just perfectly. Okay, well, as I mentioned, I didn't want you to have to see all the boring stuff of going through each one, but went through each one several times to get it down to where I got my perfect corners. This is the last one I'm going to do. It's hard to tell in the camera, I think, but right in here there's just a tiny little bit of a gap where it's not all the way up against it. And you'll notice that right here, this tip is a little bit longer than that tip. Same thing going on over here. And then when I look down here, I see that this corner actually looks pretty good. But trying to push this one in here, and of course I got to keep these all steady where they are. But I can tell I need to shave just a hair off this. That'll bring that in, and it'll close this gap up nicely. Okay, so let's see how we are doing here. I brought this one up nicely. And just a little bit of the rough edge from the saw right there, but that comes up nicer. So now it's just a little bit of embellishment. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do just a little bit of a chamfer edge here. I don't want this to be a stark drop down to the chessboard. I've decided that I'm going to leave it raised just a hair on the outside, a little bit higher than the chessboard itself. Well, it turned out the bevel thing worked out okay, and I didn't end up with a gap. So these just have a nice little bevel down to the top of the chessboard checkerboard itself. Put all these together, and I think I'm in good shape, so I don't have to turn them over. So now let's move on to the next step. I'll be doing a router edge around the outside edge of the whole thing. Well, I've got all the angles just right. A little sanding here and there to kind of make them perfect fit. Everything's looking pretty good. So I'll see you at the next step, and we'll see how it looks. Again, thanks for watching. If you haven't done so yet, hit that little button, subscribe and like. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. I'm always open for suggestions. Okay, so I've got all the pieces. Got them in the same place as they were when I fit them before. And I'm getting ready to glue. As I'm putting the glue on, I'm trying to avoid putting it too close to that edge because I don't want the glue to really come up into that little area there. A little bit might come up, but try to reduce the amount that comes up so it's easier cleanup of the glue later on. The maiden voyage on this tool. Come back when it's cured up in a few hours or later, and we'll see how it goes. See you then. Well, it's the next day. I can go ahead and start taking this all apart now. Not bad so far, huh? Got the nice chamfer in here, got the nice rounded edges all the way around. We'll sand it down smooth. We'll get it cleaned up a little bit more, and then we'll get ready to put the finish on this. Once we get done putting the finish on this, then we will start working on the box that goes below. Polyurethane spray is good. I decided not to use this. I'm going to try something a little bit different that I heard from some other specialists online on the YouTube that swear by this kind of stuff. So I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to use something that's called Butcher Block Conditioner, but it doesn't have to be this brand. All you need to worry about is that it's got mineral oil in it, and it also has some carnauba and a little bit of beeswax. And then I've also got some beeswax to follow it up with. So what I'm going to do, now the instructions on this said to put it on liberally and then let it sit for about 4 hours to really soak in good, to get that wax down penetrating into all the wood grains. And then after about 4 hours, wipe it down several times with a nice clean cloth to get rid of all the excess, and to just keep wiping it down until you get to the finish that you like. This really brings out the richness of the wood. Done with this, and I got the final finish on this. Next step we'll be showing you is how we're going to put together the box at the bottom. So that's pretty much for now. Thank you for watching, and again, this is just the part of getting the framework on and putting the finish on it. And then video part number 3, come on back and you'll watch how we put together the box underneath. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.